Surgical Extraction is being reprinted in Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and I think it's going to change Modern forever. Now, before we get into more clickbait statements, it's important to bring some context. So let's talk about some new Outlaws of Thunder Junction spoilers and bring it all around to how I think the format we all know and love is about to change for the better. Now, Surgical Extraction up on the screen reads as 1 Phyrexian black, so 2 life or black mana for an instant that says you can search your opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for a targeted card. So you got to pick one in that graveyard and exile all copies of it. And then, or that player shuffles their deck. Now, this card largely is an anti-combo and an anti-graveyard piece, so you need really powerful formats and really powerful things to be happening to really even take advantage of. This can be a lot easier when it comes to playing a deck like Mill. Notably, we do have a reprint in a card like Archive Trap, and this card being printed yesterday really brought about a lot of excitement for a lot of players. Not only is this going to be legal again in Modern with the new reprinting, new foil, and all that stuff, potentially on other clients where we could be playing Modern. Really, it's not the only trap that's important as well. Mindbreak Trap also got reprinted in Outlaws of Thunder Junction, a card that hasn't been reprinted since original Zendikar. Blue and 2 for Mindbreak Trap, instant trap. If an opponent casts 3 or more spells this turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay this card's mana cost. Exile any number of target spells. Now, this card is very big in Legacy, or I should say mostly played in Legacy Vintage, where a lot of storm or combo-esque spells occur, or I should say combos occur. And so a card like this being free is very important. Now, this makes a card like this more accessible. It's definitely going to drop the price of this card. We'll see by how much, because this Mindbreak Trap print is a little bit kind of specialty. Traps are important, especially when it comes to Archive Trap, because when your opponent's searching their library in high power formats, you're going to be able to take advantage of a card like this for free, and then Surgical again for free. But this is a very niche interaction outside of any Modern Mill deck. So where does this actually matter for people? I think it's going to matter in any type of Modern Mill deck on Arena. And that's right, that's where this discussion is going. We get to officially play 2010 Modern Mill on the Arena client, and I think this is actually slowly bringing about the advent of Modern or Legacy in like a weird way on the Arena client, and it'll happen over time. It's not official. Pioneer's coming down to the client later, but I think with the Timeless format being brought onto the Arena client, it's really interesting to see high power formats existing, fetches and other options that really provide perfect mana bases and really functional decks along with that. Now, of course, that's not the only draw to Timeless. We have other unbanned cards, we have great tutors, and we have great planeswalkers. And with the top of the metagame really being decks like Sneak and Show and Dredge for that matter, it can be really mirrored to the Legacy metagame. And that's where I bring about this really important piece of trivia, or I think is an important piece of trivia. Surgical Extraction is the 47th most played non-creature spell in Legacy. It's in many decks out there because in a high power format, the police of the format is Forcible in Daze, which means the non-blue decks are going to be playing really busted things. And so it's important to have other options for those busted things. If your opponent's going about and going through their graveyards and bringing back cards for free, you can't really counter those with Forcible in Daze all the time. Well, you need cards like Surgical Extraction. And that's why these free options are powerful. When the Legacy metagame starts to mirror the metagames of Timeless, it's important to employ these powerful options. And I think that's where Modern Mill is going to have a really unique position, or whatever Timeless Mill is going to be in the Arena client. And I think it's about time that we play some Arena on this channel, especially if this archetype's going to be here. And let's talk about some of the cards that are actually going to be there. Well, firstly, I want to show some hilarity with this clip from Jim Davis, specifically showcasing Ashiok Dreamrender and Dark Ritual, both of which are legal in Timeless.
Wow, that's a hand. Turn 1 Dark Ritual Ashiok on the play turns off all fetch lands. Swamp Ritual Ashiok. So all fetch lands are off. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh god. We got passive bunked.
For those of you that didn't understand what happened there, Ashiok Dreamrender's static text says opponents can't search their libraries, and that fetch land forces you to search the library if you want to go that route. So opponent didn't understand what was going on, they fetch and they just went off. So turn 1 Ashiok Dreamrender is a route to be played in this deck, and there's a lot of other options that you can have in the deck as well. If you wanted to go the more traditional route, we have cards like Glimpse the Unthinkable also as an option. If you didn't want to play Visions of Beyond, because there's very good reasons not to, you could just play Jace the Perfected Mind, which honestly acts as a really good replacement for something like Fractured Sanity, because Fractured Sanity is absolutely insane in Modern because of its cycle ability and its front end mill, but then Jace also provides that optionality as well. At the top end, it could be a bad Fractured Sanity. At the low end, it's a board control piece that also draws you some cards. That leaves you more room for other draw 3 effects that are legal in the format, like Brainstorm, which provides you a lot of selection. Noting that, of course, opponents are searching their library, you're going to notice how fetch lands are very big in this format. And that brings about another reprint, Archive Trap. Archive Trap is, again, just going to be one of the better busted cards in the mill deck right now, with Domain Zoo being one of the high-powered decks in the format right now. It's really important that we punish things like this. And I think Modern Mill, or the Timeless Mill, is going to act as a way to police the busted things in the format. And I think that's what I'm really excited about, to come into a new format with an angle, with some of the power that we've had in previous and current formats right now. It's important to impose this on other decks and make sure the formats don't run away, so as to bring options to it. It can become a rock, paper, scissors element in many ways. And I think Outlaws of Thunder Junction is doing this with all formats in general. It's a very push set. I mean, take a look at this card with Spree. I mean, the fact that this is white, fantastic. It's an instant speed board wipe that provides you with other options that also get around Shroud in many ways. Yeah, read some of the other options on this card. It gets absolutely insane, but that's that card. Outlaws of Thunder Junction is doing a lot when it comes to being a push set for Standard, Pioneer, Modern, heck, Legacy and Vintage probably as well. There's gonna be a lot of interesting things that we can do with, heck, even the Commander format with some shorts that I mentioned on the channel here. That Spree card also works with something like Isochron Scepter being an instant. So you could have a build your own board wipe at instant speed at any time with Isochron Scepter as well. So a lot of great options to have in many Eternal formats out of this set. But specifically when it comes to bringing it back to that Timeless Mill aspect, Glimpse the Unthinkable, Mesmeric Orb, now Archive Trap, and Surgical Extraction are all available on the format as well. But what are some of the things that we're missing? Well, I think the key thing that we're missing right now, honestly, is Crypt Incursion, because Crypt Incursion provides that great answer against the creature-based strategies and dredge-based decks, because it's not just about stopping those combos. A lot of ways those decks, the creature-based decks, can overrun you, and in a lot of ways the graveyard decks just have other things that they can bring back. You can't just keep surgically extracting Narcomoebas all day, or you're just going to lose the game. But when it comes to answering other things, Crypt Incursion allows you to gain 3 life for each creature being exiled, so that provides you the optionality to just give you more turn to then get to your win condition. I mean, heck, in Timeless, there is a burn deck that's big right now, so life gain is at an all-time high. And I think there are other good options as well, but it's important to note that this is probably going to be the best one that we have to then further supplement with other options. We have other counter spells. Heck, we don't have Ensnaring Bridge, but we can work with some of the other board-wide options that we may have. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, I think Crypt Incursion is going to be the last card that we really need in Timeless Mill for it to be a tier 2 at least deck, in my opinion, and then really punish that format. But let me know in the comment section down below what you think about Timeless Mill and some of the reprints from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Are you excited for some of the reprints that we're getting, for some of the new cards that we're getting, and the power that's spiking? It really feels like Fire Design is kind of making a comeback, right?